Today's video is the most serious I might have made in my entire career on this platform.
Hello guys and gals, me Mama Max here, and on January 17th, 2024, my best friend, my bro, Mutahara Nas, YouTuber Some Ordinary Gamers, created his most serious video he might have made in his entire career on this platform by defaming me after asking for his help on one of the most serious of cases. Thanks, Mutahar. I can tell by the red lighting that this is in fact your most serious video you might have made in your entire career on this platform. And this is my response.
It's a video about someone I and many in the community considered a friend. Today, I personally don't consider this person a friend, I consider them a liar. Max has recently made several videos, 3 in particular, making what I believe to be a mockery of these types of serious investigations.
My name is Spencer, and I am a survivor of Camden Gerard Davis. He's the leader of a destructive cult that has victimized hundreds of minors. This video is our screen for action.
A 16-year-old girl from Wiley, Texas, mysteriously disappeared, lured by the illusion of joining a supernatural family as a vampire on some random corner of the internet. She actually found herself ensnared in a dangerous cult led by a child posing as a werewolf god.
How does this explain the cult? How does this explain anything? This is why people are mad. He is presenting these screenshots like they're damning evidences, and they are not. I'll say what the evidence appears, at least. It feels like there's definitely a bad, it's like the worst I can see is somebody taking advantage of people, like emotionally, sexually, physically. There was illegal shit that happened, right? Now I'm finding out that there is evidence. There could actually be some serious evidence, I believe, hiding behind here that can cause some serious justice for anybody involved in the situation that feels that they've been wronged. Look, there are real people that I believe have been hurt by this. Ain't no way any dumbass is falling for no vampire Twilight shit. And for that considering, I am giving my full support as much as I can. I would just want to come out and just be like, fuck you, I think you're all lying cretins. Whether that be emotionally.
I'm not laughing, bro, I'm howling.
Yeah, I'm howling, dude. I'm howling at the...
And providing whatever form of financial, benefit that I can, reasonably provide. That's all that I can do.
Dude, I'm fucking pay for that dude's defamation case, bro. There is no fucking retribution here. I'd be so fucking mad at this point, dude. I'll just be like, listen, Camden, I'll write you a blank fucking check, because this is not fucking cool at all.
It was so fucking heartbreaking hearing Muta sit there and say that. I'll gladly put money towards Camden's defamation trial. How do you think that it makes myself and the other survivors feel when you're saying that? It is okay to think that, but you're going publicly and saying that to everybody else when you haven't spoken to the others. I'm just trying to understand, why would you do that without talking to us?
Dude, this is the most viewed rape review on YouTube right now. Just to be clear, this is why I didn't want to platform her. These jokes hit a lot harder when she's not in the call, and it's a lot less, I'm gonna be honest.
This isn't a fucking Netflix show.
What in the drama?
This is a serious,
Yeah,
heinous crime.
He has dropped part 2. He did promise in his other video that this was part 1, and he has come back. To be honest, in terms of turnaround time, I mean, a week. It's not bad. That's not bad for Max. It usually take him about 4 months to even shit out 5 minutes worth of video. So Do
you think it's too late, Nick, to get Spencer and Camden on a set, and I come out dressed up like Maury Povich, and we do? For a serious topic like this,
oh my God,
please stop the theatrics. present this with the respect it deserves.
The 3D ultrasound Demi's Applebee's Max.
Alfred,
Batman.
Can you confirm if there's a werewolf inside?
I'm seeing 32% of the fetus is still currently lodged in there, Batman.
Whoa.
Of course, Master Wayne. I'll run this through the back computer.
And that's what bugs me. Why are we not treating this with actual respect?
Because the police report states that their allegation.
I mean, essentially, you know, like a jealous girlfriend, Max wanted to sell his side of the matter, you know? Essentially what he says is that basically everybody fucking snaked him when he was at the height of his career, and they all backstabbed him, you know? And, you know, Max didn't do anything wrong, you know? Everybody else just snaked him, you know? So, I mean, he's not at fault for really anything except for being a nice guy, you know?
Allegations from her own mother saying that they're allegations that her grandpa, like essayed her.
Dude, I'm just sitting. No, dude. The funnier reality is that they just won't
What
give
would
the
the
phone
grandpa look
because-
like if they were black or Chinese, though?
Whoa, 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 whoa. Flag on the play, sir. Flag on the play. What do you mean black or China? Whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? I don't see a single black or Chinese person in this call. I mean, what are we talking about, man?
I quit.
Look, this is a serious matter. Please present it seriously.
I feel so bad for laughing at this.
This is why everyone likes my show better. We don't have to pretend we're taking it serious.
These girls have to
Was
sit
this a
there and
public
basically
Discord
realize that their entire story
Serious.
for laughing at this.
This is why everyone likes my show better. We don't.
Analyzing. 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 Analyzing.
So the devil's gay.
The answer is yes. The answer is yes. Here's a link. But yes.
We don't have to pretend we're taking it serious.
These girls have to sit there and basically realize that their entire story is being invalidated in real time, is being made a mockery of in real time.
Yeah, we're making a podcast and we're just having like just rape victims on it the whole time. Who's our first guest here? It's like, well, this person's like,
Well, I know what show to bring them on.
Great review.
Our first rape victim, let's bring in Spencer.
Who's the next high-profile victim we're gonna have on this podcast?
This Sunday night.
This Sunday night, the biggest victim of them all.
Oh my god.
Dude,
She was raped by 1 million men.
Oh. What are we talking about?
Like, he had convinced me to have someone
Where the
bring me to
fuck-
his
alright.
house. He beat me and then
Oh my god.
But you know, the transformation process.
Dog, shut the fuck. This faggot is really playing. My fault. Sorry. This nigga is really playing this dumb shit. Like, you didn't. Bro, you just released a fucking. Nigga. You just released expose about fucking Spencer. Stop using her testimony, nigga. Like, what the fuck? You just
cramping from
you
the
just said the
monostat.
bitch is fucking dishonest. Why are you still playing her bullshit? Stop.
Process is really dangerous on your body, especially because you're young. So from there, she had me like put stuff in my body and told me to pretend it was like his. I was 14.
During the midst of it, I tried to scream. I was screaming no.
and screaming for help. And he put his hand on my throat and choked me and told me that if I kept screaming, he would kill not just me, but my family too. When it was done, he got off of me and he went across the room and he looked at me, saw me crying, and he said, "What just happened?" And I looked at him and I told him, "You just me."
Dude, everyone just gets gang banged in this universe, bro. What the fuck?
Shut up! Muda!
I mean, that's not funny,
All I've
but like,
seen
my
is
nigga,
a character
like, bro,
here that has made a mockery out of serious investigations, covered things with no due diligence, and this kind of a thin rope ultimately leads to collateral damage for everybody else involved. Making claims like this and causing a big mockery of the situation.
Them niggas that was still in Nature Boy's fucking cult was crying for him too. I was supposed to feel bad for them? No.
Ultimately
like, bro,
puts the case that is being built at risk. Speaking with more of the victims after this call myself, I feel very disgusted hearing any more about the situation and the things that have been alleged to go behind it.
Why you got the creepypasta fucking shading? What is that? I hate this nigga, Max.
But privately, not a public
hate this nigga, bro. You are not a fucking director.
We are real. Camden Gerard Davis, whatever you may or may not have done, I'm not really sure.
Today's video is the most serious I might have made in my entire career on this platform. It's a video I don't want to make because it's personally so uncomfortable.
Mutahar, I thought you were going to be serious. If you didn't want to make this video because it makes you so uncomfortable, why did you continue to make multiple videos on this topic despite the cyberbullying and cyberstalking that you're causing to both me and the survivors?
I would very much like to point out that Muta going on to Tommy C and Lyrics, that brings more people that dislike it, that dislike Max out. There are people that are...
That's great. I mean, everybody's saying he's a snake, so I don't know. I mean,
literally cyber stalking survivors right now.
Loyal.
You also attended up to 12 hours of live streams with your commentary buddies, talking shit about us and the case.
I'm gonna say it, like, the true crime audience is like the most retarded audience on YouTube. You could fucking feed them the biggest load of bullshit, and 9 times out of 10 they'll believe it.
I don't think you're being serious. I think you're being quite dishonest, actually.
But at no point is anything that I'm going to be doing anymore regarding the situation public. I'm never going to be making a follow-up video. Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and it's been 7 days since I covered a pretty wild story on YouTube. Now, since then, it's been quite an explosive, trending topic with multiple videos coming out on the daily, many even from channels that I am very good friends with, channels like Oompaville, Nuxtaku. A lot of content creators, even some that I've worked with on this project, have made follow-up pieces regarding this situation. Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and today we're going to be looking at a pretty interesting update regarding Mama Max. So about 7-8 months ago, I covered this individual who used to be a good friend of mine.
So not only are you repeatedly lying to your audience, but you are also choosing to defame and destroy someone who looked up to you like a brother, just because I made some mistakes in how I presented this case. Since you have done everything in your power to ruin my life, I think I'm going to enjoy these next 3 hours with you.
Bro. You watched Nuxtaku in 21? I feel bad for you. I really do. I really do.
Today, I personally don't consider this person a friend. I consider them a liar, both professionally and on a personal level regarding very personal things.
Objection!
So this is a smear tactic.
This nigga said this nigga tried to ruin his life. I don't think Mutahar called you a fucking pedophile, but alright, bro, live your life.
Tactic called poisoning the well. That is to prime the audience with adverse information about me from the start, in an attempt to make his claims more acceptable
if Max feels so deeply
or
about
discount
this,
the
he should go ahead
credibility of
and
my claims.
Go
so
ahead
Mutahar
and
introduces his most serious video he might have made in his entire career on this platform by immediately labeling me a liar. He is doing this to position himself as the heroic objective.
Because if Max thinks that shit slinging is gonna make him any more favorable in the general audience, I mean that ship is fucking sailed. So
Truthbringer who makes very serious videos, whilst I am the evil liar who lies about everything both professionally and personally. But unlike Mutahar, I am actually going to prove to you that he is a liar.
But that's me going into things that I shouldn't need to.
So you literally admit you shouldn't be poisoning the well, and you did it anyway. Okay.
I also didn't want to make a video on this because I'm not an expert on the topics that we are completely discussing today.
And yet you have continued to make videos on this topic and speak as if you are the expert on the subject matter. Pretty funny, considering I've spoken to actual experts who seem to have a very different opinion than you.
I feel like I wouldn't have fallen for something like this when I was 16.
I don't know.
Is that hard to say?
Right? Yes.
Look, yeah, this is the thing that, because I remember me and Jen were saying it. She was much rougher than I was. She was like, "Ain't no way any dumbass is falling for no vampire Twilight shit."
Not only is this some of the most disrespectful shit I've ever heard a respected influencer say about cult survivors.
What are you talking about? Dude. He didn't say the fucking quote, bro. He's quoting somebody. Get mad at that bitch then, bro. Like, what the, like, bro. Bitches are catty. What the fuck? Like, what you, I mean, like, what the fuck you want, my nigga, a cookie? Like, god damn, bro. Holy fuck. You lob any fucking criticism at Max. Survivors. Fuck off, fucking bitch.
It's
Jesus,
also
that's
a harmful
annoying.
stereotype that has no basis in reality.
And the biggest vulnerability? I'd be going, I'm too smart. It would never happen to me. I'm too together. I know myself.
Give a fuck about this faggot ass nigga's TED talk, nigga. Fuck out my face.
But it could be anybody.
This
It
nigga
could be
talking
any
about
race.
you, Max. Just cause you fucking throw some random nigga, I don't know this faggot's fucking credentials. The fuck I'm supposed to do with that? The fuck? This nigga like God to you, bro? I don't give a fuck if he spent fucking 50 years of his fucking worthless fucking life studying this shit, nigga. You can't just throw him at a fucking, man, shut the fuck up.
Any socioeconomic level. They could be rich, they could be poor, they could be young, they could be old, they could be highly educated or uneducated. But what I've seen, if I were going to pull a consistent thread through many of the cases that I dealt with, it would be somebody who's not happy at a particular point in their life. These people were not dumb. They weren't illiterate. Yeah. They were sophisticated, well-educated people. So I think if we think that we're not vulnerable, we're not really being honest with ourselves. Anyone can be had given the right set of circumstances and timing.
So,
right, given the right set of circumstances. Not every white fucking suburbanite is going to be tricked into believing that a black can morph into a fucking vampire. Okay, not everyone is that retarded. Clearly, there are some people that are retarded, but not everyone is. What is the problem in saying that? Damn.
So, judging from your public statements about this case,
with ourselves, anyone can be had given the right set of circumstances and timing.
So, judging from your public statements about this case, it is quite clear you are not an expert. In fact, you sound like a fucking moron.
And how this girl was 16 when she was that old.
At the time, yeah, supposedly.
Again, I don't want to be the asshole here, but like when I was 16, I had a job at that point, so I don't know how I was falling into vampires.
Well, you're Indian. You're smarter than most people.
Yeah, apparently not.
As you know, when I upload things to my channel, it can be about computer software, it can be about creepy games, it can be browsing the weirder side of the internet, like the deep web. It can be looking at trending things. It could be a bunch of stuff, mostly lighthearted.
Mostly lighthearted. You know, like that lighthearted porn, lighthearted lighthearted red rooms, lighthearted child, rings, lighthearted Epstein documents, and lighthearted zoo sadism.
You know, Daddy's hunted for a while. He knows what skinning an animal is like, let me tell you.
You know, all that lighthearted stuff.
And yes, I do occasionally dip into things that are very serious. But when it comes to situations regarding, you know...
So you fucking faggot, he just... fuck it.
Situations regarding trafficking and whatnot.
3 seconds later, bro.
That is something for law enforcement, for lawyers, for professionals to appropriately handle. I don't even think YouTubers should be the ones that are running cases like this, because in a vast majority of cases, most of them aren't well equipped.
I actually agree with this. These types of cases should be handled by the appropriate channels like law enforcement. However, the victims of this case already tried reporting these crimes to law enforcement with no success. And so they decided to reach out to me to help cover their case.
Yes, nigga, and you fucked it up. Shut up,
I've
nigga.
done many times before. And so have you.
And given the fact that kids are involved, it may actually even be criminal to an extent. So in conclusion, I gotta say, look, this video is a hard video to make. But what I do know about this video is we're all responsible, okay? As a YouTube community, we need to raise awareness. Given that I'm on this platform, the strongest thing I can do is raise the awareness. But in this situation, this creator specifically that we are talking about is Mama Max. Now, Mama Max is a channel with 746,000 subscribers, a filmmaker dedicated to empowering children.
And in this situation, this creator specifically that we are talking about is Some Ordinary Gamers. Some Ordinary Gamers is a channel with several million subscribers. Let's plays, commentaries, reviews, hardcore raging. We're just a team of ordinary gamers. What did you expect?
Throughout his career, Mama Max has covered topics such as his Life Sucks series, anime reviews, but what most people know Max for is his Predator hunts, videos where Max claims to infiltrate dark corners of social media. He's made very popular videos and gained a lot of respect in the larger YouTube community.
Throughout his career, Mutahar has covered topics such as his Deep Web Exploration series, hentai reviews, but what most people know Mutahar for is videos where Mutahar claims to infiltrate dark corners of social media. He's made very popular videos and gained a lot of respect in the larger YouTube community.
Predator hunting is a popular topic on the internet and YouTube in general, and it's seen a bit of a resurgence in recent years with very high-profile cases such as EDP445, caught in a massive YouTube sting operation, in an alleged meetup of a minor. Nowadays, the predator poaching channels that exist are a dime a dozen, and a big fear of these channels that a lot of the community has is that in the grand majority, for clicks and revenue, basic investigative and evidentiary rules aren't met, and law enforcement in many cases is not even involved until well after the fact.
So I can't really speak for other creators, but I think Mutahar is accusing me of never working with law enforcement. He does not provide any evidence for this claim, he just says it. But this has never been true. He's even helped me out with previous cases where we literally made reports to the FBI and NCMEC together. So here's my typical process, okay? I begin recording everything on OBS when I get on the platform. As soon as I confirm I am talking to an adult that is trying to groom minors, we create a mega drive and upload our recordings to that drive. We then link that to an FBI cyber tip and continually update the drive with evidence until the investigation is complete, which is usually when we have video evidence to support our claims.
Would you want me to go up and down on you?
I'm a slim, so I must do this fucking mouse. I must do this mouse.
Oh. You said yeah?
Bro, I don't fucking care. Shut up.
Even when crimes are committed, and you have evidence that crimes were committed, which by the way most young children do not have, predators still walk free in many cases, and there's multiple reasons why this happens. From the quality of the crime, the standard of proof, the investigation, and the prosecution. There are so many things that can go wrong and often do go wrong, which is why Wayne Barnett, a serial predator that we exposed, was previously released from prison without serving any substantial amount of time, despite the fact that he literally admitted to committing crimes and is still committing crimes to this day, We reported him months in advance to no success, which is why my videos have a call to action at the very end.
Okay, what's going on there, ma'am?
So an individual named Camden Gerard Davis, more than likely resides at this.
I've tried working with law enforcement many times, and I've encouraged others to do so as well.
If you are a victim and this ever happens to you, keep calling them and keep calling them, and do not stop calling them until they do something. Do not give up.
But I guess since I didn't put a text graphic at the beginning of my video, which objectively proves Mutahar has in fact worked with law enforcement for these videos, that must mean I never worked with them.
And it's caused a serious problem in letting actual evil people walk free because of technicalities and failing to follow basic evidentiary patterns.
Ah, yes. Evil people walk free because of me, Mama Max. It has nothing to do with the countless historical and systemic issues with CSA cases that enable predators to commit crimes without consequence. No one else should be held accountable for these problems, not even the predators themselves. Mama Max is the primordial source for why predators walk free.
When in realistic fashion, if law enforcement was involved, these people would be tried in a court of law.
In realistic fashion, law enforcement involvement does not guarantee that a predator will be arrested and tried in a court of law. It can take months, sometimes even years, of reporting a single predator before an investigation even begins, especially in cybercrimes with anonymous offenders.
That said, Mama Max has committed almost every single sin in the book.
I can't wait for you to provide some type of evidence to prove this theory of yours over the next hour of your video. Although it's hard to distinguish which sins I've committed when you don't even source the exact book that I'm supposedly breaking the rules of. I understand it's a figure of speech. It's actually another ad hominem attack where he continues to discredit me by using vague black and white terms instead of providing any facts up front.
In the hunt for who he believes is one of the most evil predators currently walking in the world today.
I don't see the world in black and white terms like good and evil. I recognize that reality is far more complex and predators suffer from unresolved trauma caused in their own childhoods. Rather than resorting to tribalistic labels like good and evil to justify the harm we inflict on one another, we should start prioritizing restorative justice and invest in mental health resources to break the cycle of suffering.
90% of people who are murderers in this country
talking about him so negatively now.
I'm not giving my tax dollars to that, so sorry.
Because you were harassed by cancel culture to disavow me after I fake canceled a very popular YouTuber just to bring awareness to a case I still believe is of great importance. And although I did make mistakes and I do take accountability for those mistakes, unlike you, who is too pathetic to take any accountability for your own actions in this situation, you want to pin the blame of everything on me, and it's arguable that you have been more vocal and have had a much greater impact on the outcome of this case than I ever did. And then when I try to hold you accountable for your own actions, you try to tell everyone that I'm shifting the blame, when that's...
Sir, stop moving away from the point that you fucked up the case. You did that, you bitch ass nigga. You. Your retarded group of fucking victims couldn't even vet the half the motherfuckers they let into the John. There are multiple fucking Discord leaks. That's on y'all, nigga. Y'all.
It's actually what you are doing. That is why you're talking about me so negatively now.
Because again, like I said, Max has recently made several videos, 3 in particular, making what I believe to be a mockery of these types of serious investigations.
There's not.
My videos were a mockery.
Human trafficking and destructive cults are not just issues in distant lands or...
Yes, they were a fucking mockery. This shit's corny. This shit's corny, sir. You're not scaring no fucking pedophile, my nigga. I'm not fucking scared of you, my nigga.
Plot lines and crime shows.
But yours and your friends were not?
This is gonna make me look bad, by the way. This is gonna make us all look bad, apparently.
This was
That's the point. Yeah, she put a message out and was like, "Oh, I actually look really good in that call." So the jokes on it, they released it. Yeah,
I've seen ghosts. I look great in this call.
Yeah, wait, she said she looked great in the skull?
Yeah.
Oh, she's still retarded.
Yeah, dude.
Making what I believe to be a mockery of these types of serious investigations. Max has covered a story he claims is peppered with human trafficking, cult worship, and brainwashing, and violent abuse. Topics that are incredibly serious, and as I've said, I am not a key expert on.
You see, you keep saying that, but you continue to speak as if you are the expert.
I am not an expert.
It's almost like how you keep on saying that I take accountability, yet everything out of your fucking mouth is, but Mutahar, but Mutahar, but Mutahar, but Mutahar, but Mutahar.
That said, Mama Max has committed almost every single sin in the book because I'm not an expert. As I've said, I am not a key expert on. Look, I'm not an expert.
If you are not an expert, then why do you continue to speak on this topic as if you are the expert?
Topics where real victims exist and continue to exist on a daily basis.
This is true. Real victims continue to exist on a daily basis. So why then did you ignore them and prioritize covering Sniper Wolf drama that is already getting covered by everyone else when these real victims were just asking for 15 minutes of your attention?
So let's get started. This is the story of how Mama Max has failed what he considers a very serious investigation, and a prime example of how YouTubers should not be involved with serious situations like this.
So that concludes the introduction for Mama Max as a complete fraud. Let's review what Mutahar said here. He claims that this is his most serious video. He then lies about not wanting to make this video, which then, why did you make it? He doesn't consider me a friend anymore, same to him. He poisons the well for the audience, saying that I'm a liar. And apparently he is not. He then admits he has no reason to be poisoning the well. He's not an expert on this topic. He makes lighthearted content. He sometimes dips into serious stuff. He's not an expert on this topic. He doesn't think we're equipped to handle these topics. He gives an overview of my channel. He implies that I hunt for clicks and revenue. He blames me for systemic issues with CSA cases. He spreads misinformation about law enforcement. He says I committed every single sin in the book. He claims my videos are a mockery of serious investigations, even though he never had a problem beforehand. And also he seems to think he and his friends are exempt from this criticism for some reason. He's not an expert on this topic, and victims continue to exist on a daily basis. So out of this entire introduction, I think he only states 2 facts. I would say that him not being an expert is factual, but technically expertise can be viewed as subjective, so I'll give him that one. But he made some very big claims for this introduction, yet failed to provide any evidence to support these claims. But Max, that's what the rest of the video is for, and we will get to that. But he did spend the entire introduction just assassinating my character before providing any facts to set the stage for the audience on the story he wants to tell, which is actually the opposite of objective, a word he really likes to label himself as.
So let's start off with the story. The story begins on October 3rd, 2023, where Max sends me a message on Discord.
Actually, our story begins much earlier, in January of 2020, when I first met Mutahar Anas. And being a fan of his content, I really looked up to him.
Shut up, faggot.
Immediately, I could tell that he likes to talk about himself and brag about his achievements, which was fine. He is a very successful influencer, and there was a lot that we all learned from him. He loved getting drunk with the boys.
That's alcoholism.
And he would often gossip about other YouTubers, despite pretending to be friends with everyone. But there was one time he got so drunk, he started heckling customers at one of the bars in the San Antonio Riverwalk, and we actually got kicked out because of it. Afterward, we started drinking at one of the hotels, and he was talking about his self-hatred and suicidal ideations, but that only made us all the more supportive and caring of him. I became closer with Nexpo and Night Docs due to our geographic proximity to each other, but I would occasionally check up on Mutahar or ask him for advice regarding certain projects. And whenever we did see each other every year or so for YouTuber events, He always paid for drinks and food and was very generous with his money. Maybe a little too frivolous. I don't make as much as my peers since I don't take sponsorships and I stopped producing merch and I don't make any ad revenue. So it was difficult for me to keep up with their lifestyles. But seeing them was always worth it. I have many great memories with these guys. But over time, Mutahar was clearly becoming more and more self-centered. Specifically, I remember at VidCon 2022, he would disrespectfully make decisions that went against the group. He started spreading the rumors about Night Docs, calling him a predator that abuses his kids. He was slandering and making fun of Glink and Lightwave. He started calling Blame It on Jorge and Sakura Stardust vomit-holics who can't hang in his mansions. And he didn't want to hang out with people under a certain subscriber count. He even kicked out my friends who weren't YouTubers, even though prior to this weekend, I had gotten an Airbnb specifically for these friends to join us. But then Mutahar got a new Airbnb, claiming it didn't have enough capacity for my friends. But then popular YouTubers like Kelly, the Act Man, were more than welcome, even after being over capacity. This is a group chat between me, Nick, and Ryan on that very occasion when I hopped the fence of the Airbnb because we had no way to get inside, and my partner at the time was having a seizure. Ryan told Mutahar, and apparently he was furious that I did this. Do we have a plan for getting back in the house? Or for anyone to lock the front door? Sorry for the awkward situation, boys. Just trying to keep my girl happy.
Nigga, fuck you and your girl, pussy.
You're good. Just a weird situation. I don't even know what happened. This is what happened. Muta told us to get an Airbnb. A month had passed trying to get in a call with him to find one, and since he had been so unresponsive and we were only weeks away from flying out, I got an Airbnb that was close to everywhere we wanted to go and had the capacity to satisfy the needs of everyone we wanted to hang out with. Muta then immediately got a new Airbnb an hour away and did so without talking to any of us about it. And now that we are here, he is calling the shots for the plans, even though he can't commit to a plan, changing his mind to pick up Ryan, even though fucking offered. And then come to find out there is only one key for 8 people that belongs to the one person who is the least responsive and communicative out of all of us. And since my girlfriend was having a seizure and pissing herself in the car, I figured hopping the fence was a justifiable action to get in the goddamn house. And since he has been inviting people to the property the entire time, either with or without our knowledge, including a party that we were only informed of because a guest told us about it, I thought it would be fine if I had 2 quiet people sleep over, since their hotel I booked for them would not let them check in. And now they're upset because I didn't ask if I could have these people sleep over, people who wanted to cook for them and people who helped me clean the house.
Give a fuck they want to cook? I didn't invite you motherfuckers over. Nigga? Did you pay for this shit? No, the fuck you didn't, boy. You can get the fuck out too. Matter of fact,
notice the 5 to 10 bags of trash in the garbage cans.
Nigga, that's what
notice
I would
all
been
the
on.
chairs from the backyard are now inside.
Nigga, fuck these hoes want to cook and clean.
Notice the loaded dishwasher. Notice the clean towels in the dryer. That was all of them. I'd appreciate if y'all didn't tell him any of this. It does piss me off, but I don't hate Muta. But at the same time, this is absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Nigga, they shared
And I
it.
believe this was the last time I ever saw Mutahar in person. Things between Mutahar and myself were still amicable until my last project. And that brings us to October 23rd, 2023.
Hey Muta, I hope you've been well. I don't want to bother, but I thought you might appreciate a heads up about an upcoming project of mine. I'm on the verge of releasing a video for Halloween that is likely to generate significant drama. While it may be deemed controversial, the intent behind it is for charity. The video is designed to be a trap for reaction channels. Knowing your integrity and the quality of your content, I would hate for you to be caught off guard. At the same time, we would be honored if you would consider covering this in a thoughtful manner. To facilitate a deeper discussion, may I include you in a group chat with other influencers who are also considering covering this topic? If confidentiality is not an issue, I'd be more than happy to send you the video under a non-disclosure agreement. This will allow you to become familiar with the video's content before it goes public, enabling you to navigate any provocative elements we've included. Look forward to hearing from you, Max. Now, to understand, initially I read this and said, I'm down to hop in, man. Good to hear from you. Hope everything is well. And again, Max says, it's good to hear from you as well, bro. I'll add you in a few moments. Hey Muda, just wanted to let you know, wanted to know your current thoughts within the group chat. Now, if you notice the exact dates of these messages, you'll probably pick up that around this time in October, I was already busy with a massive investigation under our belt. In the following weeks from my response to Max, I would release a video on the completionist and further investigate that situation with a fellow YouTuber known as Carl Jobst. I was also in and out of the country for personal reasons, and I wasn't really able for anything else, I wasn't really available for doing anything, as you can assume during this time.
Not sure why he's making it seem like he was so busy working on much more important projects when the actual videos he uploaded during this time don't quite match what he's talking about.
Head on over to manscaped.com and get your hands on the Lawnmower 5.0 Ultra today. Now, 12 days ago, I made a video in regards to the Metal Gear Master Collection for traveling across Japan for free by begging and hiding in train toilets.
Maybe he's on like a really important video call. No, I'm talking about vag beer.
Now, I'm not trying to throw shade at him for making lighthearted content. That is perfectly fine. But when he's tricking his audience into thinking he wasn't really available for doing anything.
I wasn't really available for doing anything.
Besides the very important topic that he's covering, he's just lying. He's just trying to make me look like an asshole just because I am following up with him, which is perfectly normal in every professional and personal setting.
I was mostly away from Discord, and if you really wanted to contact me, using Twitter to directly message me or calling me on my personal cell phone is usually the best tactic, which a lot of people in this scene, you know, if you need to absolutely contact me, have.
So I actually do have Mudahar's personal phone number, but I chose not to call or text him about this in the event that he was busy with other things, specifically so I'm not crossing a personal boundary or spamming him.
That said, I can't confirm what happened in the group chat Max invited me to, as I honestly don't remember checking it, nor which creators were in that specifically.
Well, allow me to provide that for you. The group chat was just an attempt to have open communication between creators about the project so they can ask questions and we can address any concerns all in one place.
So a few days after inviting me to this group, Max inquires and asks, Mudahar, it's been a bit since we've caught up, and I get that your plate is probably overflowing, but I wanted to touch base again. Sorry if our previous chats have been a bit heavy. These issues are really close to my heart, and that's exactly why we need to keep the conversation going. You've got a seriously powerful platform, and within your reach, we could really make some noise for the betterment of children's lives. Just a little bit of your time could go a long way. No pressure to dive into the subject, but if you could spare a couple of hours for an interview, I believe we could spark some real change. Is there a time that works for both of us to sit down and talk for an initial engagement? A few days later, Max says, I'm reaching out again because the voices of child survivors cannot be ignored. I've shared their stories with you because I believed in your capacity for empathy and action. Your silence so far has been disheartening, but I still remain hopeful. Please understand, we are determined to be heard and will continue to seek influencers who have the power to do something heroic. Watching the attached video and acknowledging their plight is all we are asking right now. I hope you will not let us down. Now, obviously, at the end of this, you can see that it becomes very apparent that Max is emotionally guilting me.
Technically, ChatGPT is the one emotionally guilting you
into speaking and promoting a topic that I haven't actually seen much concrete evidence on, nor do I know much about.
Oh my God, it's almost like that's why I was trying to communicate with you, buddy. That's what communication is for.
And also because I'm working on another video for my channel as well, a very serious investigation that I have to be 100% on.
Just for context, here's my point of view.
One thing that I don't like is recently they released the PlayStation 5 digital disc drive. Muda's latest video on Xbox third-party accessories is uninformed, badly researched, and misguided. Now, if you go to Temu's website, you'll find out, whoa, they got a Black Friday pre-sale. Activision was ballsy enough to put a goddamn playable terrorist attack mission into a video game. What if I told you karma is real? A scumbag has finally been sent to prison. It's a video where apparently, I'm gonna be honest with you, I think I'm defending XQC. Now, I know that I crapped on the Metal Gear Master Collection. Part of me doesn't really feel bad for NFT users because they have shown a consistent pattern of stupidity. GTA 6 is finally announced. Boogie himself is a liar. Boogie himself is a manipulator. Do you want to get a share of that $12 billion pie? $12 billion, please give me a little bit.
Oh man.
The survivors wanted to share their evidence with you in their private server that you signed an NDA to protect. And during your time there, you did not speak to anyone or ask any questions or conducted any investigation whatsoever. It seems you took a glance, you did not see any CSEM, and subsequently leaked disinformation to the public that there is no evidence, that you later changed your mind about.
The fact that throughout this entire situation with evidence, like with witnesses and whatnot, that now I'm finding out that there is evidence, you just haven't established timelines. It really feels like you haven't put in your full effort into this case.
And of course, he shifts the blame to me.
Max sends me more videos that have since been privated, originally unlisted, and these videos, according to the time frame sent, I didn't see since, as you can imagine, I was preoccupied with my own investigation.
Then why agree to watch them when I asked if you want to see them? I can't help but notice you coincidentally keep leaving out context in your video, but when you actually show the full context, the conversation looks a lot more normal. This is something he does throughout the whole video.
This video was never a cancellation on Charlie, but rather severe clickbait.
And I was 100% transparent about that from the very beginning of the video, which you failed to show for some reason. This is a call to action.
To artificial intelligence in our world. At this time, I respond back.
It's almost like I hypothesized that you guys don't care to respond to things until drama is involved. It's almost like that was the message of the video.
Yes, such stories often...
That's a lie.
I mean, at this point, I don't even know if, like, the guy that he's talking about, Camden Gerard Davis, may still even be alive, you know?
I think recently someone who wasn't related to the investigation found that he got, like, a parking violation or a speeding ticket in September of last year, confirming that he's alive.
I haven't seen the 5-hour podcast with Spencer.
Then you clearly haven't caught up with the whole situation.
Without evidence and without properly understanding the story, I
with the
don't
whole
know.
situation. You don't know if the bitch is lying. Shut the fuck up. God. Why'd he hit this nigga in his fucking ass, bro?
Proper accounts.
But didn't you just say?
I've seen your latest video and have caught up with this whole situation.
And now all of a sudden...
I don't know anything in this situation.
So which is it?
I haven't seen the 5-hour podcast with Spencer, who is one of the victims. She has her own channel.
Not anymore, because you and your friends kept bullying her.
Where she posted a 4 to 5 hour account.
You and your friends kept bullying her. Nigger, you bullied her.
And experience with this cult that we are going to look into. It's quite long, and I feel the story could do with a bit more structure.
I agree with this. The original plan was to upload this podcast in unison with the documentary, which did have the structure we were looking for. However, Spencer wanted to make a trailer, and everything thereafter was highly reactive due to the pace of the situation unfolding.
This is a serious matter.
Yes, it is.
And I have no issues covering it.
That's a lie.
Is this something that you would now make
ain't crazy
a video on your channel?
It's not crazy enough.
No, I wouldn't.
It's not.
Ever.
It's not.
I would like
it's
the
not crazy
victims to
enough.
seek proper restitution,
Honestly.
but going it in this manner isn't the best.
But publicly
I mean,
ridiculing
like,
us on the live streams of people that hate
oh
me,
my gosh,
who you
man.
literally
Like,
call
the
slop
nigga just be
tubers,
sounding so
is
pretentious for no
better?
fucking reason,
I mean, at the end
bro.
of the day,
This
like
nigga
I
is
told
fighting
him, like, hey,
over
I'll work
scraps
behind
of
the
a
scenes
fucking.
and fucking build this story with you.
This
like,
nigga's
to
fighting
present
over
it.
scraps of a community who doesn't fucking want him no more. They don't want this nigga no more. Why is he trying so hard to prove his fucking case, my nigga? Nobody fucks with you
I
no
would be
more.
down to talk further with these
What the
victims and
hell?
analyze this evidence.
In the same breath, somebody say hi to Max. They will say that fuck nigga a pedophile. Like, come on, bro. Like, dude, nobody likes this nigga no more.
And why didn't you?
Why would you do that
They're
without
pretending to be
talking
fucking
to
nice.
us?
If their claims are as solid as it's being depicted, and at this moment, Max had literally called the person in this video. He wasn't alleging, he was actually materially accusing them of
dangerous cult led by a child predator.
So these were very, very serious accusations, which need to be matched with very, very serious, corroborative, ironclad evidence.
And in Some Ordinary Gamer's video, Mama Max is a complete fraud. You weren't alleging, you were materially accusing me of being a fraud.
Because I always really play something super carefully. Like, I'll never say somebody is a scammer or like a or something, unless I have something that I know.
The nigga called you a fucking fraud because you have never put anybody behind bars. You said half of your fucking videos were mostly fiction except for the pedophiles, but everything leading up to the pedophiles is bullshit. So nobody got fucking gang raped, nobody got fucking killed in a fucking alleyway, and they sent you their fucking suicide note. Like, you are a, like, bro, like, my nigga. You and Mutahar can be a bitch, bro. Both of you niggas can be bitches at the same time, bro. That like. What are you using?
Is 100% in court, you know?
Yeah.
And that's why, like, I know that I can get away with saying a lot of things.
What Mutahar is doing is called special
garbage,
pleading,
fucking
applying standards, principles, and or rules to other people or circumstances, while making oneself or certain circumstances exempt from the same critical criteria, without providing adequate justification. So Mutahar says that I can't make these claims without presenting very, very serious, corroborative, ironclad evidence. Yet he does not apply this same rule to anyone else, including himself. Because if this is in fact what you actually believe, and you're just going to start creating universal rules that affect freedom of speech, are you going to start making videos on why Dan Schneider is innocent because there is no very, very serious corroborative ironclad evidence to prove he ever committed any crimes? So the point you are making literally
My nigga, all you have is random fucking mentally ill whites just saying that they were raped by a fucking black, bro. Welcome to the 1920s fucking America, my nigga. That don't narrow down shit, bro. Like, come on, dude. Like,
serves to silence victims who have been wronged,
be fucking for real,
yet have no evidence to prove a crime has been committed, which is quite common among cybercrimes against children, like on Kick Messenger, that keeps everyone anonymous and deletes all of its own data, which was the main source of communication within the cult of Camden.
One of the things that's the hardest to suspend disbelief on is this is a cult leader, allegedly, right, that uses social media to groom children, who also has no online footprint.
Well, yeah, I mean, like, and that's one of the things, because even last night I was looking up, like, Cameron Gerard Davis, and it was like, this guy's not alive, you know? Like, this guy's not there. And I would consider myself to be pretty good at finding, like, shit in cracks and crevices of the internet. So I consider myself pretty good at it. Could not find shit on Cameron Gerard Davis or that cult, which I think is incredibly suspicious.
I know more about Camden's family than I know about Camden through this investigation. And I don't know a single fucking thing that he's done definitively. And that's that's absolutely the problem.
Okay. So the fact that this predator is intelligent enough to keep his online activity anonymous, to the point his family is easier to find than he is, goes right over these stupid people's heads, which leads them to assume he isn't operating a cult because they can't find anything on him. Which is something we already made clear on the 5-hour podcast they did not watch. These fucking idiots have clearly never investigated anything beyond the surface. There are global cyber criminal organizations that are so sophisticated and advanced, even multiple government agencies will struggle to expose them, just to find they are operated by a single person.
The videos you produce don't damn
Camden. Maybe this is why you couldn't find him, because you couldn't even get his name right.
A lot of the screenshots.
No, dumbass. Nobody calls this nigga by his actual fucking name, bro. This nigga's fucking Dracula, Black Dracula, fucking Niggatron, bro. Like, shut the fuck up, bro.
Don't punch
Shut
hard
up.
since they're on screen for less than a second and lack the required context. If you want this person to be damned and attract the attention of a
Dox this nigga's mama for no fucking reason, but you got the fucking gall to be like, no, man, no, bro, nigga name is Camden. Fuck up, bro.
our community, we need to sit down and piece this together out from beginning to its current stages in a damning but digestible manner.
I agree.
The story has a beginning, and we need to start there.
Well, there was a 5-hour podcast you never bothered to watch, so...
And that's where I'm going to leave these messages at, okay?
Nobody, you don't get to just cherry pick DMs without consequences. I'm going to leak everything. I inform Mutahar of my
Nobody
private.
gives a fuck, bro. Nobody
Giving me
cares.
nothing.
I did that shit out of fucking spike because I was so mad, bro. Like, nobody
agree.
fucking
The
cares.
story has a beginning.
Fucking faggot. Sorry.
And we need to start there.
Well, there was a 5-hour podcast you never bothered to. Nobody
Shut up, bro.
to participate.
Shut up, nigga. Shut up, nigga.
I ask
I'm
for
gonna
his
take a walk. I'm
thoughts.
taking a walk.
He doesn't
I'm
respond.
taking a walk. I'm gonna take a walk.
I follow up with him.
Taking a walk.
He doesn't respond. I follow up with him again.
Niggas love
and
to-
he finally
to-
responds.
never
He explains why he was gone and affirmed that he's still interested. I apologize for my sense of urgency and ask for 2 things: a conversation with the survivors and his advice. He doesn't respond, so I make a video requesting for influencers to listen to the survivors for 15 minutes. He doesn't respond, so I ask for feedback on the artificial drama of Charlie. He agrees to watch. I keep him in the loop. He doesn't respond. I finally drop the video, and he finally responds. He claims to have caught up with the whole situation and gives me some feedback based on his limited understanding of the situation. I thank him for his advice and invite him to the server. He requests to call in during a live stream. This is the first time he actually talks to me about this case, and it isn't much. I thank him for his feedback, and he doesn't respond. He goes on live streams with people that hate me, and I ask to chat with him privately. He responds only to bring up CSEM allegations on the YouTube drama subreddit. I explain the Mega Drives to him. He ignores what I say and thinks that the cult survivors have CP on our server. I explain to him that that is not the case and re-explain the Mega Drives to him. He claims that Mega takes down CSEM from a fingerprint match, which is not true according to Mega's actual policies. I re-explain the Mega Drives for the 3rd time and share a video timestamped with what I'm talking about. I try to understand what did who say regarding the Mega Drives. He says the Mega staff. I explained that I was not in charge of the Mega Drives. I passed my evidence to my team who uploaded it to Mega. I then explained to him that I'm open to answering more questions and that there's a lot of misinformation spreading around, and if he can just platform me or the survivors to give our side. He doesn't respond until I start streaming again. I thank him for his input on stream, but explain. Thanks for your valuable input on our stream. While we appreciate your advice, discussing these sensitive matters only in public settings is uncomfortable for everyone involved, including you, me, and especially the survivors. We'd prefer to handle such conversations privately, aligning with our initial request for discretion. We should continue these crucial discussions in a more confidential setting to respect and protect our survivors' narratives. Your cooperation in this would be greatly appreciated. We're also concerned about your recent appearances on Tommy C and Lyric streams, where you've shared views that contradict our case, especially after reviewing the evidence we provided. This has led to misunderstandings, with people now downplaying the evidence. We urge you to help correct these misconceptions, just as I'm addressing my own errors. Your careful consideration on this matter is crucial. And he doesn't respond. I had a call with Nuxtaku, who told me to apologize to Mutahar so that maybe he'll start to listen to reason. Mutahar explains that he is working on a video trying to get to the bottom of this situation, when he has literally made no private attempts with me or the survivors to get to the bottom of this situation. But he finally offers a one-on-one call. I explain my conditions, requesting Spencer's participation, that he answers all of my questions, that I will be recording the conversation, and that he will need approval from the survivors who appear in this conversation before releasing it, as per his NDA. He asks why is the call covered by the NDA. He then requests DramaTuber Nicholas Diorio to participate in the call, and that he wants to prepare for the questions that I have for him. I answer his questions and explain why the non-disclosure agreement that he signed to protect the stories of the survivors would include a private call where we are talking about the case. We set up the call, and he tries to find reasons to breach his NDA. I re-explain the purpose of the NDA. The purpose of the NDA is not to inhibit your opinions. It is to protect the survivors and their stories. You are allowed to disseminate the evidence to the public, but you have to get the permission of the survivors first. It is their evidence after all. You do not even need my permission, just theirs.
Alright, sorry.
And I then explain why I name-dropped him in regards to the fact that he was looking into the evidence, because he was already publicly discussing that he's seen the evidence. He tells me that I should have conferred with him privately. I tell him, Muda, I've been trying to confer with you privately for the past few months. He then credits himself as being the most helpful person to speak on this case and claims to be objective. He then says, I'll do whatever I can to help out in trying to have him prosecuted. I reply, I value your contribution and thank you for it. However, you said yourself that you might not be fully informed about the entire situation. Critiquing a case without thorough knowledge of the ongoing events is counterproductive. Cult psychologists, who are experts in this field, have approved the videos. And with all due respect, I place greater trust in their expertise on this matter than in yours. With that said, your support would mean the world to us, and I thank you for taking the time to sit down with us to discuss this, as we should have done from the start. We have all made mistakes here. Let's take this time to fix them. He says, well, that's what I aim to do tonight and in the next few days, talking to everyone I can about this situation, and lays out what he's interested in. I thank him and we get ready for the call. We have our call, and Spencer re-explains the events she already went over in the 5-hour podcast that they did not watch, that then derailed into loaded questioning and baiting for emotional responses, shouting over us while we were trying to answer their questions, which resulted in us shouting back at them, literal misrepresentation of actual facts, and Mutahar sucking his own dick, calling himself objective and that he's been helping out more than anyone else. Mutahar covers this call later in the video, so we'll come back to this. Mutahar tweets out that the call did not go well and blames it on me, as if him and Nicholas had no impact on it whatsoever. I tell him that I saw his tweet and implore him to wait for his own sake. He then asks for incontrovertible evidence that is going to vindicate this situation. I then give a very long response, which I'll read out to you. The growing amount of evidence is the evidence. The growing amount of survivors reaching out are the evidence. The consistency and complexity of the testimonies are the evidence. Please be patient while we are working with law enforcement before we continue our public campaigns and seek more survivors. If you need to see Camden Gerard Davis's literal devices before you are going to believe us, then we don't need or want you participating. With your power and influence, you are actively creating an environment that raises fear and doubt for survivors to reach out, and enforcing the defenses for predators, especially those who are extremely intelligent, who use platforms like Kick that have no archive of evidence like CSUM. Within the next few years, this case is going to blow up, and the truth will be revealed in time.
Fuck, it's not. This nigga's retarded as fuck, bro.
As we continue to hound law enforcement, find more survivors, and film this documentary. There are many personalities who are going to appear on the wrong side of history after this, and I am doing everything in my power to prevent you from doing that. I am trying to look out for you in private. Meanwhile, you are actively targeting and attacking us in the public eye. And those are not just my words. That is the shared feelings of the survivors from your behaviors. They want an apology from you, not me, And yet I am still the one taking accountability, because I know I made some mistakes. Please, Muta, take some time to think deeply and clearly about this case, other well-known documented cases, and yourself. I admit to my mistakes. Please reflect on yours. I am not going to attack you publicly, but if we are forced into a position where we need to respond to you, we absolutely will, and we are not afraid to do so. And I promise you, it is going to get very ugly for you and your brand. We have called each other brothers. Please treat me as such as I have been doing for you. There is absolutely...
Nigga, you're not gonna threaten me and then hit me with the brother talk. Fuck out of here.
a time and place for a conversation on false accusations. I am a literal victim of this phenomenon, and I would love to have a public conversation about it, even on your podcast, if you'll have me. But this case is not it. He then ignores almost everything I say to highlight, what do you mean it's going to get very ugly for me and my brand? The way he responded to this will show you just how little he actually cares for the survivors and how much more he cares about.
Nigga, you just threatened him. What the fuck? What fuck care if he shows fucking 200% fucking empathy to these fucking victims, dude. Nigga, you just threatened them, bro. What the fuck is he talking about, boy? Nigga, you're gonna threaten his livelihood and say, see y'all see how the fuck he ain't even acknowledged the victims. Man, fuck them. Fuck.
About himself and his reputation. I'm literally asking you for evidence. I'm never stating Camden is innocent.
This is going to be the one thing that is going to sound so controversial to his camp. There's a chance that fucking Camden Gerard Davis could even be an innocent individual.
Yeah.
And treats me and the survivors like we are guilty.
I would just want to come out and just be like, fuck you, I think you're all lying cretins.
There's a great quote by Edward Snowden. When exposing a crime is treated as committing a crime, you are being ruled by criminals. You've made a poor job of presenting this. How is it bad for me to tell people to think critically and demand concrete evidence when blasting an individual? So I agree. I did make a poor job of presenting this. However, from all the streams and videos I've seen, I don't think there's a single time he tells anyone to actually think critically. And he is actually doing the opposite.
So I'm just gonna say it like it is. A lot of people watching YouTube cannot critically think anymore. So when that video came out and I was like, I'm reading the comments, I'm like, yo, they're eating this shit up. What the I don't want to blame the audience anymore. I think at the end of the day, it's like, listen, you guys up, but so did I, because recently something came out where I didn't even critically think properly. And this involves a close friend who you've heard on this channel, Mama Max.
I emphasize that what I said is not a threat. That is a promise, Mutahar. And as you can see, I am keeping that promise.
Oh my god, bitch, you are not the fucking Joker. Fuck, nigga. So tell me this, Max. How the fuck are you gonna fight a defamation and litigation lawsuit, huh? Oh, that's right. You live off plasma. So the answer is you're fucking not. This nigga Max is a fucking retard. This nigga talking about he don't want to lose his house and shit. He got all these fucking dogs running around. My nigga, you fuck with the wrong bull, bro. He gonna fuck you up. And you don't have any money to do anything with that. Nigga? What the fuck? I don't know who the fuck this nigga think he is, but he ain't him. He's not.
Promise. He explains cases can be ruined if accusations are made without solid evidence presented in public videos. He doesn't cite any sources or read out any legal definitions. He just
fuck. Imagine Max fucking looking you up and down. Bring it the fuck out my face. If we have a problem. Excuse me? Excuse me, nigga? What you said? What you said? You threatening me, nigga? Oh, no, I ain't threatening you, nigga. That's a motherfucking promise, boy. Back with my motherfucking face. Like, man, Max, shut your weak ass up. God damn.
Says it.
He's fucking scared of you.
What about prior investigations that have faked elements? Want to continue our conversation? I've been unfortunately used as a metric of validation for your content, when in reality there are a lot of legitimate holes in your work. But you've worked with me in the past, and then lied claiming you haven't.
But I guess, could you speak to his credibility on previous stories?
I've never worked with a previous investigation on the Mom Act stuff. I can't even say that I'm the biggest expert on some of his previous investigations. That's something that he never looped me in on. We never really talked about an investigation. We never really got it. The only thing close to it was I remember when we had that wake up YouTuber there was this hashtag, I forget.
Answer us PedoTube.
Yeah.
You discussed even a couple nights ago with Nick that you didn't actually get any convictions despite publicly claiming. You claimed to have an arrest. Sorry, not conviction. No, buddy, I actually didn't claim to have an arrest.
But you didn't put him in jail. Is that fair to say?
I don't know if we put him in jail, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
I made a claim that a predator was in police custody based on information that I was given. That still has not been verified whether it's true or not. But you haven't truly delivered any justice in the world. So I think exposing the platforms that enable this type of behavior is the best thing I can do until Section 230 is corrected. Getting an arrest is not justice, okay? As they just walk free within the same year. And exposing the platform is also the exact same thing you did when you were helping me. Because from my understanding, you did not get any arrests made from these platforms either, buddy. It's not that I don't believe a victim. Let's get in a call and interview each other about it. I do, but I also have to be critical of them. What is a call going to do that this chat isn't already doing? I disagree. I think if he actually wanted answers, he'd be more than willing to get in a call. But he already got what he wanted for his video, so he clearly had no interest in understanding. And furthermore, I think he knew I was going to interrogate him. Very well, then we have questions for you as well. What are your questions? I believe you asked what you wanted in our call a couple nights ago. Our conversation went unfinished when you left. So let's just finish it here then. Very well. But I don't believe we will have a meaningful conversation without some mediators. May we add some? I mean, you wanted to ask questions, so ask away. I'll answer to the best of my ability. Why can't you, at a minimum, apologize to the survivors? You hear Spencer almost break down to tears, but somehow it's my fault when you are the one that said shit to start with. I apologize if I've upset her in any way. I believe in the call we had Nick apologized, and I obviously co-signed the apology since he's the person I brought in, and we were having this conversation together. Oh, my bad, Mutahar. I didn't know that's how apologies worked. What shit did I say?
Ain't no way any dumbass is falling for no Vampire Twilight shit.
We should schedule a call soon to be clear and constructive, because a screenshot of a Discord chat is not enough evidence for the general public. If we can't come to a meaningful resolution, then please just go ahead and release your video, and we will respond accordingly. My video has nothing to do with your victims. It has to do with your handling of this case, more specifically, not your victims, sorry, the alleged victims of Camden Davis at the moment. I do apologize for making Spencer feel bad or cry, but I don't believe I've said anything that was inflammatory.
Dude, everyone just gets gang-banged in this universe, bro. What the f?
I'm being objective. I'm being objective on the situation, which is what you asked for in your videos to do. If nothing else, please wait for my video if you want to be more informed. I promise you waiting to hear my side before you talk about this will be beneficial for you and your platform. Yes, I messed up, and so did you. But I am proactively trying my best to rectify the situation. Creating more drama videos will only take away from the actual case at hand. We can either work together to repair, we can ignore each other, or we can waste precious time and energy bickering on the internet. I wish you the best. I need to ask, how did I make a mistake? I have been critical appropriately of your behavior, and you seem to mask any criticism here as drama. I'm not making a video for drama or to make any money. Clearly, this is a demonetized topic. I will have to discuss how you mishandled, and ultimately this serves as a wake-up call to the community as to handle this case. I'm not here to ruin a case. I believe you've done that on your own. If there is any compelling evidence to prove the serious allegations you've made towards Camden, don't you believe that should have come out in the first, second, or even third video you've made? We should schedule a call if you'd like to actually come to a resolution. There are many more questions I would like to ask of you, and I'm more than happy to
dog. I don't
very
give a fuck, bro. Y'all got it, bro.
I believe
Hell no, this nigga's trolling.
story.
Yeah, you're trolling, sir. You got it,
We
bro.
should take the time to listen to each other's perspectives.
you've lost your fucking
no
mind.
interrupting
Yeah, no.
or yelling at each other.
Yeah, no,
when
nigga,
in
I don't
reality,
really give a
this
fuck
is
about all that,
serious
bro.
allegations
I
we're
ain't gonna
talking
cap.
about.
That's pretty funny,
I'm
considering
not
you
sitting
never
through
had a
20 minutes
problem
reading
with this
fucking
same
DMs
exact
and
disclaimer
fucking-
beforehand, even though it's present in all of my previous hunting projects, some of which you helped me with. So if this is in fact a big point of contention for you, why did you never bother to comment about it until this very moment?
Even if it is for legal reasons, can we actually believe anything that you're about to say and the people that you're about to name? That's a pretty big point of contention, and one that we'll come back to round trip towards the end of the video. The other big part is when he starts pointing out that if influencers deny anything here in this, then they could be one of these following horrible things like internet, like human so on and so forth, which again is insane to put anybody critical of what they're about to see, especially when they should be critical of what Max is about to post, into a severe camp just again for denying any of the contents that he's posted in this video.
Maybe that's because this is an example of milieu control. Milieu control involves the control of communication within a group environment that also may or may not result in a significant degree of isolation from surrounding society. When non-group members or outsiders are considered or potentially labeled as less valuable without basis for stated group-supported and group-reinforced prejudice. Group members may have a tendency to then consider themselves as intellectually superior, which can limit alternate points of view, thus becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy in which group members automatically begin to devalue others and the intellect of others that are separate from their group, without logical rationale for doing so. Cults typically demonize critics and reinforce an echo chamber of thinking, which you might find is actually quite common among commentary channels.
So that's what drives me crazy. There's like a fucking...
Bro. And this is the dumb shit niggas be talking about, bro. Stop saying random fucking fat fuck. Nicholas Diorio is a fucking is creating a cult and cultivating an echo chamber to bounce around his idiotic fucking ideals and brainwash the masses. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up.
Incestuous commentary community right now that is a for-profit misinformation machine.
Jesus.
Guys, we really got to be better at this in the future.
With so much
it's
fucking
like, no, it's a
confidence,
for-profit misinformation
fucking
machine.
snip this motherfucker's
So anyways,
vocal
he
cords.
asks to send this video to their favorite influencer to test them on
Remove
their
that
character.
nigga's right to speak.
He guides
Fuck
through a
it.
tutorial on using the YouTube frame-by-frame keyboard commands to prepare viewers for a game. And he asks a series of questions. If God appeared before you and told you to sacrifice a child, would you do it? What?
Yep.
In Judaism and Christianity, the story of the binding of Isaac is a test of faith,
my
where God appears
God, I
before
know.
Abraham and asks
I
him to
know.
sacrifice his son Isaac. As he It's meant to provoke thought about how people can be brainwashed into doing things they would never otherwise do if they believe
fucking
the person
faggot
giving
ass
them the
fucking
order is
Mama
a
Max to
divine
fucking tell me
being,
about Isaac.
like cult
Fuck
leaders.
Then he gives another long string of BS that I have to frame by frame analyze. Now you can read this for yourself by pausing the video or slowing down. I've slowed the footage down by around 70%. So to understand the actual stuff that he's talking about is humanity will end up destroying itself if we don't protect our children. Children should be taught self-sufficiency, and these are all noble things to say.
So this is called a doomsday scenario, which is quite common among cults.
He falls into a tangent about artificial intelligence and, again, misinformation. These are topics that come up throughout this entire series later.
That's because it's not a tangent. It's actually quite relevant for this entire project, as you will soon learn.
But again, this is part of where the video's artsy natures come into. So hopefully soon we'll be getting into talking about the actual allegations he will be making.
And hopefully soon we will be getting into the actual allegations you will be making. We're about a third of the way into your video now, and you still have yet to prove how I am a fraud.
What comes next is a video from a cult expert that Max has brought on. And then it dives right into the first serious allegation and key part of this story.
Wait, an actual cult expert. We're just going to glance right over that. We're not going to even play a single thing he says. It's not like he's an expert and has anything important to say.
I am not an expert.
This is so fucking funny. He just skips. Oh, an actual expert on the subject matter? Let's just skip that. Okay. All right, buddy. Since Mutahar clearly has no intention to educate his audience, I'll go ahead and play this clip because I do believe it is one of the most important parts about this project.
I would say one of the things that really bothers me and that I think about, and I've been confronted with this situation many times, are minor children recruited by destructive cults online.
It's almost like this is the thesis statement for my project.
This video serves as their scream for action against their perpetrator.
Now give yourself a second to breathe. These are very serious allegations.
Thanks, Sherlock. The previous 10 times you've said this weren't enough, but I think we finally get it now.
These type of allegations require absolute concrete proof.
Thanks, Sherlock. The previous 10 times you've said this weren't enough, but I think we finally get it now.
And not a YouTube video, okay? This should be reviewed by lawyers, sent to police agencies. This is serious stuff.
I agree, and we did.
And so when we get to this, who is Max claiming to target? He talks about Camden.
Cameron.
Now here, Max gives full names, plays loud music, and again, I have to frame by frame analyze, which, for a serious topic like this, please stop the theatrics.
Again, this was never a problem beforehand. All of my audience, including you at times, were more than happy to see these topics presented with my editing style. But perhaps it is better to be straight to the point, and I will concede on that.
Present this with the respect it deserves.
Oh, you mean like this?
Because the police report states that there are allegations from her own mother saying there are allegations that her grandpa, essayed her.
He was a feral wolf, dude. The grandpa was fucking...
Dude, I'm just sitting... No, dude, the funnier reality is that they just won't give the phone.
What would the grandpa look like if they were black or Chinese, though?
That's it. I quit. I quit. I'm going back to being a Q channel.
Present this with the respect it deserves. There's a possibility that he will use anonymous accounts on various internet forums to spread rumors or false information about the victim or filmmakers. Any proof of a disinformation campaign, maybe some screenshots of his various accounts and postings, none of that are provided here.
Yeah, let me just hop into my time machine so I can grab future screenshots of events that have not happened yet. Now, I could have provided screenshots of previous attempts of his cult doing this, which we sent to you, but you probably would have just as easily said that screenshots aren't evidence of anything. And that's literally what you do.
He may attempt to engage drama-oriented media sources, leveraging their platforms to spin a narrative in their favor. To my knowledge, no one in that drama-specific community has been contacted by this person.
I am literally just dispensing information based on the body of research as observed and documented by cult experts, of which you are not.
And that also said, this isn't drama, Max. This is a serious crime we're discussing.
Hey, Mutahar, feel free to reread this statement at your own pace. Where do I ever say in this short statement that these allegations are drama? Pretty funny that you're making this point when you and your friends were farming drama content off of this situation.
And that's what bugs me. Why are we not treating this with actual respect?
And that's what bugs me. Why are you not treating this with actual respect?
Then I met Carrie, the girl that introduced me to Camden.
Carrie?
And
Not the Netflix show.
And that's what bugs me. Why are we not treating this with actual respect? This isn't a fucking Netflix show.
But it probably will be someday, and you have been well documented on this situation. In fact, here's a tweet from your wife that you liked.
Nick, you got to pull up the Dojangles tweet in chat. You got to pull it up.
Oh
dude.
God, what is
You
that?
got to pull it up. You got to pull it up.
Yo, what did Doe say?
No, I'm not pulling that up. I'm not pulling that up. No, I'm not pulling that up. Xylee, you're supporting this, Xylee? You're supporting this?
Yes, I am supporting it.
What
yes.
the fuck?
What is
What is going on? What am I looking
What the fuck?
This is a serious, heinous crime.
Mutahar, are you materially accusing Camden of committing a serious, heinous crime?
He wasn't alleging, he was actually materially accusing them of a serious, heinous crime. These type of allegations require absolute concrete proof. You can't be making claims unless you can 100% back them with evidence that would hold up in a court of law. That said, Mama Max has committed almost every single sin in the book. He has a history of spreading disinformation to deflect the allegations against him. Again, where's the proof?
We sent it to you, buddy.
Any links to his posts online or his accounts that are spreading this disinformation. In this video, nothing like that's given.
Did you not just say earlier?
And it could cause them to go down and delete evidence so that if they know that they are under scrutiny or investigation, they might start actually getting rid of actionable evidence that can exist.
So you want me to provide links to his various accounts and postings publicly, but do so in a way where he won't know that he's under investigation or scrutiny. If you can teach me of a way where that's even possible, please let me know.
He may resort to legal threats as a method to suppress his story and silence victim. To this date, no one covering this has reported that they've received any legal notices from this person.
Again, dumbass, I am just dispensing typical behavior among cult leaders. But Max, didn't you threaten to sue Mutahar to suppress his story? No, I don't care if he makes videos on me. But the survivors and I do care that he was breaching his NDA, leaking sensitive information without the consent of the survivors, slandering the campaign before conducting a thorough investigation, or any investigation whatsoever, discouraging others from engaging with us, inciting harassment with influencers that are known for cyberbullying and cyberstalking, and was compelling the survivors to delete all of their digital interactions with each other, which in many cases can be viewed as tampering with evidence and obstruction of justice. And so I informed Spencer's, and she wanted me to ask the survivors if they wanted to sue Mutahar, which some of them did, and for very valid reasons. And then that got leaked by another bad actor who breached his NDA. But we will be discussing that matter on another video.
According to multiple sources, he is implicated in criminal activities affecting minors. Again, it's up to Max to provide the relevant reports.
It's actually up to the survivors if they want to come forward with their report, which some of them did. And even then, you and your friends and your audience members were picking apart every single report to diminish the value of each one.
And we'll revisit this person's legal situation later.
Why later? Why not just do it right now? Is it not relevant to what we are talking about? You know damn well, if you were objective and just relaying the facts, this video would look a lot less critical of me, wouldn't it?
It's not uncommon for figures like him to accuse detractors of slanders in an attempt to shift the narrative. As of the time of me recording this, no one to my knowledge has been communicated by this person specifically.
No one to your knowledge. Do you happen to have open communication with every single human being on Earth?
There's a possibility that he will use social media and other platforms to discredit us or make counterclaims to confuse the public. The individual, once again, hasn't posted publicly and about this to my knowledge.
You have no knowledge. You couldn't even get his fucking name right. Moron.
Max, you gotta substantiate these massive claims. That is your job as a person delivering this story.
And by that very same logic, Mutahar, you gotta substantiate these massive claims. That is your job as a person delivering this story.
He gives us his name, which I'm going to refer to as Cade to make it simple. He cuts to a montage of what he discusses human trafficking is evolving, destructive cults are growing, an enemy of the children is an enemy of us all. God cult is translated to guard our descendants. That's the cult. It's about protecting children.
Oh my God, yes, that's correct. Holy shit, finally, you've said something that isn't wrong. Wow. Okay, so why the fuck are you criticizing it like it's not a cult?
That if influencers deny anything here in this, then they could be one of these following horrible things like internet, like human so on and so forth, which again is insane.
You know what else is insane is that I literally say the video may also cause diarrhea or constipation. But you have nothing to say about that, do you?
He asks us to share Spencer's story and asks the audience to contact several large YouTubers. Some of them include H3H3. Some of them include Joe Rogan. Some of them include Anthony Fantano.
It's actually not an uncommon practice to reach out to public figures for advocacy purposes, and sometimes called pressure politics. These techniques have also been used by cults. Scientology is perhaps the most well-known group associated with intense pressure politics.
Literally, he is in this video asking Anthony Fantano, check it out, there's a cool banger you're hearing.
I agree that this doesn't belong in the video, but that was the agreement I had with the composer.
In the same video where he is discussing very serious allegations and very, very serious stories regarding victims. You can imagine why a lot of people are looking at this as him treating this as a joke. It's not a joke. This is serious.
But Mutahar, you make jokes on serious videos all the time.
Hello guys and gals, me Mutahar, and what if I told you the feds were alleged to be running half of the most illegal websites on the internet? And the FBI facilitated the victimization of minor children and furthered the commission of a more serious crime, the distribution that they were initially just going against. Dog, are you kidding with me? Are you fucking around? It's not a joke. This is serious.
With sponsorships.
When you use our link, guard.io/SOG, join over 1 million users and keep yourself safe online.
And apparently the antivirus subreddit has been discussing how guard.io is useless and invasive adware. So you're basically profiteering off of serious topics and scamming your audience, which we'll get to later.
And in reality, what are people like Mr. Beast? What are people like PewDiePie gonna do? What are you gonna bring his kid into this? What, he's a father now, so he's not going to signal boost unsubstantiated claims? What is Joe Rogan going to do about this situation? None of these people are experts or have any legal backing to help you in this situation.
Are you stupid? Do you have to be an expert with multiple degrees and certifications before you can speak on something?
I am not an expert.
No. You act like these people don't have any resources or contacts or platforms that could help this case.
I was born into a cult, a high control group that I didn't know to call a cult because, you know, I was born there.
You were a child. Yeah.
That was my whole experience.
When there are many situations that were exposed with the help of public figures, including yourself.
Now this individual right here, ladies and gentlemen, had a conspiracy to engage in the worst forms of trafficking known to man. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I talked about this man a year ago, and a year later, he has actually been arrested by the police, possibly facing extradition for running a literal cult. All they can do is make unsubstantiated claims alongside you.
Or they could investigate these unsubstantiated claims, as you call them, and discover that they are quite substantiated by multiple pieces of evidence with other testimonies, to where even you are calling it one of the most serious of cases after you realized it is quite substantial, and put social pressure on the appropriate law enforcement agencies.
Like, bro, you have nothing, sir. You will never be big
to begin a criminal case against the accused party. And that's just one of many resolutions that could happen with the support of a large platform.
Never.
Now, I was expecting at the end of this video more explanation of how this person was a cult leader, or how they human trafficked Spencer. So far, we have her testimony, but no real hard-hitting, irrefutable evidence that corroborates that testimony.
You'll probably have noticed by now he keeps using words like hard-hitting and irrefutable. This type of evidence is called incontrovertible evidence. This type of evidence is extremely difficult to find because most evidence leaves some room for interpretation, doubt, or rebuttal. However, in the law of evidence, there are many different types that can lead to a conviction: testimony, documentary evidence, real or physical evidence, digital evidence, exculpatory evidence, inculpatory evidence, demonstrative evidence, eyewitness identification, DNA profiling.
Sir, all you have is bullshit testimonies and screenshots of faggot fucking group chats. That's all you got.
As evidence.
That's all you got.
And consciousness of guilt.
Okay.
These can all serve as evidence without having to be incontrovertible.
All this bullshit,
if incontrovertible evidence was the standard, then most crimes would go unpunished. How often does someone have a live feed of someone assaulting them? That's pretty rare.
Max has already called this person a child predator. And I'm not a fly on the wall, so I don't know if that statement is true or not.
Why are you acting like you've never called someone a child predator without evidence? I know there's more than a few people who remember you calling Night Docs a predator without any evidence.
The only way to prove that statement is true is evidence.
The only way to prove this statement is true is evidence, which you still have not provided.
Which Max has not provided publicly yet.
Again, why does the evidence need to be publicly available, specifically in a YouTube video format by the channel Mama Max, before it is worth your consideration? It was available to you privately in a Discord server with the permission of the survivors.
Because this motherfucker is so fucking stupid, bro. What did he just say? He said, why does evidence need to be in a fucking... Why does evidence need to be in one of my videos before it is considered viable? You are so fucking... Alright, bro, you got it. Just stupid shit, bro.
Which is what they wanted to secure a criminal investigation.
How can a creator stick their neck out and help when this whole situation relies on blind faith instead of facts?
Since you keep referring to the facts as blind faith, let me just lay out the facts. Spencer went missing on March 18th, 2016. There is evidence that she was with Camden during this time. In her testimony, she describes multiple crimes that were committed both by Camden and herself. There may be no evidence of crimes committed against her. However, there are police reports filed against Camden for these crimes. There is also evidence of Camden's accounts, which are corroborated by multiple other victims. And these multiple other victims have their own testimonies and pieces of evidence, and they will come forward with them when they are ready to do so. So I'm not quite sure how any of this applies as blind faith to you. But okay, buddy.
I have no fucking idea.
I worked on a case recently with Carl, which relied on us. Not the same situation, mind you, definitely less serious. But it relied on providing proper relevant documentation to corroborate our accusations. Had I made those videos without providing documentation from, you know,
like, bro. I'm sniffling so goddamn hard. I can't do it. I can't, bro. God damn, I cannot fucking breathe, man. Damn. Like, that shit is killing me, man. It is fucking killing me. Fuck. I need some fucking Benadryl or something. Lord have fucking mercy. Alright, that's right. That's right. If not tonight, then tomorrow, bro. I'll finish that vid and make a video about it, I guess. But yeah, I gotta clock out. I gotta clock out. I got to.